You know, sometimes when you make something in Animal Crossing and you're like, I made this! Look at what I made! What? Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya and this is Okanda, my Canada Core island. I apologize if my voice is a little bit messed up because I've been struggling with allergies, but I'm not gonna let that stop me from recording today. So today we're working on my wheat field, which is representing the prairie area. So this area is right to the right of where the train ends. The train track comes along. You can see my neighborhood up there, but it comes up from this area with resident services over to the right, and then my shopping district is down here. And if you head straight back from this area, then you get to crossing the bridge, which is I love using bridges as ways to separate one area to the next. So this bridge kind of represents you were in the city area and now you're kind of going towards the country. I'm gonna go off camera and I can blow my nose as much as I need to, and we will get started with this speed build. Alright, so let's get into it. I'm not sure if my allergies are better today as of recording this voiceover, but here's hoping. So I first had to remove this tree over here and this random rock that had spawned, and then I went in to place down some pathways. This will be underneath the fence at the front of this build, and I really like the way that it turned out. I just put it down here as like a test to see if it would work, and it did, so I was happy with that. I will say that a large portion of this build is going to be cut from this video because this literally took me hours and hours to pick up all these flowers and move them around, and I would highly recommend, as somebody who has tried to plant the flowers first and then make a field out of them, that is the wrong way to go about it, especially if you're using yellow hyacinths, because you can get these flowers in a bag. Funny story is that I actually thought I'm gonna go to a treasure island. I'm gonna get some flowers, some bags of yellow hyacinths, because I'm gonna need a lot of yellow hyacinths. So I thought I'm gonna go get some bags, and I went to this treasure island and I was talking with the Twitch streamer of the treasure island and being like, where can I find yellow hyacinths bags? It was kind of a little bit of a runaround between a couple of different creators who were actually on the stream, and okay, my island has the yellow hyacinths, and so I went and I got the yellow hyacinths. I come back to my island, and who is in the plaza? Of course, it's Leaf. Leaf is in the plaza, and guess what? He's selling bags of yellow hyacinths. So I didn't even have to go and like create all this chaos with these stupid yellow hyacinths, but I ended up going to the treasure island and grabbing some of the actual flowers that were already grown as well. And then of course I came back to my island and bought more bags of yellow hyacinths, which I don't even think I needed the amount of yellow hyacinths that I thought I needed, because it wasn't really that many. As you can see, I have some yellow hyacinth bags in my pockets. I really went overboard. I thought that I was going to need like hundreds and hundreds of these things, but I ended up going with rows of 3 with 1 space in between, and then rows of 2, well, a space of 2 at the front for an entrance. So I ended up having a little bit of leftover, which was not bad, but I just thought it was funny that I went to this treasure island, caused so much chaos, and then was just like, oh, I could have easily got them at home anyways. It's just, of course. And I put this utility pole in there. I end up moving it like at the very end. After I actually did my outro, I move it because it's in the way of the view a little bit. Which, I mean, if I can give any recommendations on that, it would just be, if you're building something that you want to have a long distance view, just build the back part of it forward instead of the other way around, because the foreground elements should be like the last things that you're adding, and you should focus on what's in the background first. And we put down some of that barbed wire fencing. I think that was just the key to this. And here I am, absolutely having a struggle of a moment, trying to figure out whether I'm going to use this dark dirt path or the light dirt path. And I think at this time, actually, I had my husband come in and we were like looking at both of these dirt paths. And I was like determined to use the light dirt path. He was like, the dark dirt path looks way better. It's more contrast. It was a lot of work either way because I knew I wanted pathing underneath, and that's why I should have bought the bags of yellow hyacinths and then just not planted anything. But I just got planting happy, and I thought that I wanted it to be originally just like a solid field. But then as I was looking through it more, I did want those clear rows to make it look more like an actual farm area. So I did a test here where I put a row of the light dirt path and then a row of the dark dirt path, and I decided that my husband was totally right and I liked the dirt path that was darker way better. So I'm just showing you here like a small sample of the time that it took in real time to do this. It took forever to move all these plants up and put pathing underneath. So let's just like skip forward. Let's just skip this.
6.5 hours later.
Here we are, a beautiful field of wheat. How lovely. And it turned out so well. I'm so happy with it. This base, kind of the grid layout, not really a grid, these rows turned out really nice. But I wanted to extend the last row out a little bit so it wasn't just cut off. So I did extend that slightly, and I think I ended up extending it a little bit more just to get 2 rows because I really wanted to include a tractor in this build. I'm really excited to share with you the tractor that I make. From very early on in the development of this island, I knew I needed a prairies area because it's a very large space in Canada. 3 provinces are pretty much the prairie provinces. We have Alberta to the west that's closer to the Rocky Mountains, so there is some mountainous area in Alberta as well as some more prairie lands as well. Alberta is really fascinating to me. It's a province that I would love to see one day because it just looks absolutely beautiful. But I was kind of picturing this as more of an Alberta area because there is the Rocky Mountains right to the left of this build, so I thought that kind of worked out very nicely. I am very excited for eventually doing my Rocky Mountains build. I really would like to get either a penguin or Hans, the gorilla, who's like an abominable snowman kind of character. I would love to have Hans living up in the mountains, or Tex. And if you've just watched my latest Papagayo video, which is my jungle core island, you know that I just got Tex as my smug villager for the first campsite. And I might end up taking him over to Okanda because I need somebody to live up in the Rocky Mountains. It could also be a wolf. I do have the amiibo card for Fang, so we'll just see. I really want to do some villager hunting, but I'm not a villager hunting person, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't have patience for it. It's like I get like 30 tickets in, and if I don't find somebody, I'm just like, oh, this is terrible. Why am I doing this? So maybe I just need to get more patience. Maybe I just need to accept my fate and get villagers from Nookazon or on Discord or something like that. While I was busy talking about villagers, we actually started working on the tractor. So the tractor, I actually got the inspiration for the tractor from a Reddit post, and I'll put that up here. It was so well done, and they added in a couple of other elements like the termite mound and also a refrigerator that I did not have in my inventory. But I think for the things that I had in my inventory, I'm so happy that I was able to pull this together. The box sofas and the barbell is just a stroke of genius. I'm so happy like with everything, the way that it turned out. And as you probably noticed, me running to the front of the build to see how it's looking is like a common theme here. And on this one, I really wasn't sure exactly how he had built this area in the Reddit post, and it was kind of funny to see it from close up because you can see that the elements are not close together at all. That pull-up bar is actually set quite far back from the stall, which feels very awkward when you're up close to it, but from any distance away it really comes across clearly as a tractor. So I love the way that this person put together this build. It's so good. This is actually quite a large area on Okanda, so I'm very happy to have it filled out, and it just adds so much warmth, this whole field of flowers, and I think it's a really awesome idea for filling up a large area because things like farms are typically really big. Like when you pass them on the road, on the highway, they go on for a really long time, acres and acres of farmland. I mean, a lot of people are doing farm core islands right now, which is so fun. I love that. And it was really fun on a non-farm core exclusive island to actually create a substantial farm area. So I kind of got a little bit of farm core energy out with this build, which was really satisfying and really fun to do. And I loved putting these little wheat accents around. I know some people were saying in the comments when I was talking about this build in other videos that I could use the Turkey Day wheat decoration as the wheat field itself. And I did try a lot of experiments with weeds, with hyacinths, with the Turkey Day wheat decorations, with the straw fence and the hay bales and everything, and doing combinations of those. But I find just the yellow hyacinths, because they're also just a really nice flower in the game, I think they're just so bright and happy. That's what really drew me to using them. Okay, so I had never dropped flowers just on the ground before, but I've seen it in a few different builds recently, and I am obsessed now. These white cosmos just add that extra little detail that I absolutely love. You can walk through them and they just add like a little interest. They're not a weed, but they're not an actual flower, but they just sit so nicely on the ground. They're so cute. I love them. And I hope I don't go overboard adding them everywhere on my island, but you never know. I might just go overboard. I tried like 4 times to plant this weed before I actually got the type of weed that I wanted in that space. It was so much fun. And as you can see, I'm already adding in like some of the final touches. But the back is looking very sparse as I'm looking at it more while I was building it. I did try to add in this puppy plushie at the front, and it was just too busy. I end up removing it eventually just because I wanted to feel like a very relaxing open field area, and too much clutter. I struggled with it because I love clutter. I had to remove some of it at the front because it was kind of taking away from that open field atmosphere, and the barking dog was not helping with that. So I wanted to move the fence in just a touch so that I could actually move the wind turbines in as well. And I wasn't sure whether I wanted the wind turbines inside the fence or outside the fence. And I was really on the fence about this decision. Okay, that was terrible. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's how I'm thinking that I want it. And then I end up changing my mind like 1,000 times on where I want this fence to go because I was tired of digging up flowers and I was hoping that I didn't have to, but I did. So I just did it. And then I actually ended up making another custom design for this build. It was a really difficult custom design for me to come up with. It wasn't. It's a weed blocker. It was like a transparent path, and I just needed to block so that the flowers would not be spawning everywhere. And also the weeds, because I did include quite a few weeds in between in the rows. So I end up putting in the fence at the back and some trees behind there to frame in the area a little bit better. It's a little bit difficult to see this build, what it will look like in the final iteration of my island, because we don't have the mountains area in. But the second that we get our smug villager and we can put him up in the mountains, we are going to have that Rocky Mountains, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for it. But we're getting very close to the end here, and I will just leave you to music, and I will see you with my final thoughts in just a moment. Okay, everybody, I am so excited to share this build with you. This was so much more work than I anticipated when I was planning on my island. I thought, I'll put some plants over there. It'll be the prairies. That's probably going to be the simplest build that I do on my island. I can't believe how wrong I was. So, just for context, because I like context on an island, it makes me feel nice. We start out at resident services, and we have our shopping district area down here, our Tim Hortons. And if we come up here and go across this lovely bridge, we are met with a train track and this lovely barbed wire fence. It just looks so beautiful and relaxing. I love it so much. You can walk along the train tracks and you can take it all in. And I just realized that none of the hyacinths are grown in. I can't make a thumbnail out of this. Let's go forward 2 days. Okay, so from this direction, you'd walk down along the train tracks and you start to see the beautiful wheat field all grown in. Okay, this looks fantastic. I even like some of the tall weeds in between. I'm obsessed with this. I made this! You know, sometimes when you make something in Animal Crossing and you're like, I made this! Look at what I made! What? I love this so much. I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I enjoy this because it's so satisfying. Just flat, clear land up there, but once I have some more stuff going on up there, it's just gonna frame in this whole area really nicely. I did put some trees back here just so that it would frame the back half. The tractor actually came out really nice. I really am happy with it. For what I had in my inventory to be able to make a tractor, I am really happy with the way that that turned out. I think this view is like my favorite view. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching today. That is gonna do it for me, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye everybody.